Tonight, Stacy told me that one of you lovely ladies was interested in the DM Quilting Leaf 1 tablet. So we're going to do a couple things with that. Now, the tablet has 3 different size leaves in it. Y'all know how to make a leaf. I mean, it's just a simple rotation. I wanted to do something a little different with it. So we're going to do something just a little bit different with the leaf. Although I will show you how to do just regularly too, okay? So here we go. The first one we're going to do is we're going to make a flower out of the leaf. Okay, I know that's kind of weird, but it'll work. I have got a 1-inch simple circle. Oh, Betty, it was you. Oh, thank you for making the suggestion. I hope that I give you what you're looking for tonight. Okay. Lisa's here from Sugarland. I'm so happy to see you. So what I'm going to do, and I did draw these out. So let's go ahead and look at the drawings here too. Here is one of the things that I really thought I love it. I'm not crazy about the big leaf on the bottom. I can leave it off or not. It doesn't matter. But look at that flower, guys. And we might add a little vein in there too. I'm not sure yet. We'll get there. We will. First thing I'm doing is I'm taking the 1-inch simple circle. I'm going to go ahead and line that up in the center. There we go. And I've got an 8-point crosshair here. And we're going to start on reference line number 1. Y'all know that I really like to number those reference lines. And for anybody who takes classes from me, you know that I reference the reference line numbers often. Okay, now we're going to go and get my foot on the foot pedal here. We're going to make 1 rotation. We're going to come all the way around. Now, when we're making a round or a curved template, we want to keep those stitches a little smaller, keeps the circles a little smoother. And we're going to stop right there. Okay. I am now going to come and pull in, take my circle out. I'm going to cut this thread so it's not in my way because I just don't like thread in my way. How's everybody been? I really miss you guys. I got to tell you. I'm always so glad when Stacy calls and says, "Can you do a live for us?" Yeah, no problem.
Lee Law showed up.
Lee, oh, so good to see you, Lee. Oh my goodness. Susan is here from Clearfield, Pennsylvania. Southern California is 74 degrees. Oh, I'm jealous, guys. I'm jealous. Okay. So what I did here, let me explain this first. Okay. I went ahead and put a couple arrows here. Now, the arrows are approximately halfway between the 2 sides of the template. What you'll notice about this template, and I want to put it on my black paper because you'll see it better. It's not symmetrical. Okay. And remember my made up rule. It's not a hard fast rule. It's just my made up rule. You can ignore it if you want. I'm fine with that. Is if we have an asymmetrical template, we put stable tape on both sides. If it's a symmetrical template, we don't have to do that. And because these are asymmetrical, I've gone ahead and I've put stable tape on both sides. And I've got an arrow pointing down towards the center of the bottom where I have another arrow pointing up. They're approximate. This design doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so this placement does not need to be perfect. And then I also put an arrow approximately halfway between the top and the bottom. Again, does not need to be perfect. Okay. That's what I love about templates. We can get close enough being good enough, right? And I love that part of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come down and I'm going to put the bottom of my template on the 1-inch circle that I have in here. Okay. And let me just double check. I want to make sure that I've got this right. No, I don't have it right. I'm going to put it on the crosshair right at the center. So I've got the bottom center of my template is going to be right at the center of the crosshair. And I am going to just travel over to the right. And now I'm going to stitch to the top and I'm going to stop where I have this left facing arrow. So here we go. Take that stitch, extra stitch up on top. And we're going to stop at the arrow with our needle down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist my template and I'm going to line up my arrow template with my next reference line, which in this case will be reference line number 8 because I'm going from right to left as opposed from left to right. I'm also lining up my template again right at that center crosshair. I'm going to come down, touch the circle, and come back up. There we go. Take that hesitation stitch up at the top, but you don't need a whole bunch of them. Just 1 or 2 stitches is good. If you put too many in, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a little knot of thread on the back, which isn't the end of the world, but we really don't want that if we don't have to, right? Okay, so again, I am just going to place my template so that bottom center is right at the bottom of my template. Going to come back down to my 1 inch. And what you'll notice is when we come back to that 1 inch, it's actually going to come to that reference line just previous to the design, the rotation we're making. So up we're going to go. And put my needle down. Just going to turn it a little bit. I want to make sure you've got a good view of it. And y'all owe Ken, I shouldn't say this, I owe Ken a word of thanks because he bought new cameras for us, guys. So these cameras are totally awesome. I'm still learning how to use them properly. Ken says it's a nice picture. I love them, especially for filming. I've been filming a class and oh, the quality is just second to none. I'm so excited. Now all I have to do is figure out all the lighting. That's just another one of those things that we got to figure out.
Australia, Deb loves crafts.
Hi, Deb. Good to see you. Yay, Ken. Monica says, yay. He's a good guy. And up we go. Take that hesitation stitch and come back down. We're going to stop at our arrow. Is this turning out cute or what? I really thought this kind of turned out cute. You can make it with any size too. If you put a 1/2 inch circle in the center, you could use the small one. If you put a 1.5 inch circle in the center, you could use the large one. So you could actually do a whole lot of different flowers, have them come some behind the others, and template them, different colors underneath, different reveal fabrics. I think this would be so adorable. I like doing things that are unexpected with templates. Okay, here we go. We only have a couple more to do. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our stem. Now I want you to notice I'm not what you call a real fast stitcher, okay? And I'm okay with that. I really am. I like it to take time because I enjoy doing it so much. And this is going to be our last rotation.
Oh, that's great. Well, probably template and still with it though.
What? I'm sorry, Ken.
Marla says she loves how each template is so versatile. Seems like my imagination is my only limit.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Marla.
Marla, you are absolutely right. Your imagination is your only limit.
Regina has a question. Kathy.
Okay.
What size block?
Okay. What size block would I use this in? That's a really good question. Let me grab my ruler here. So this one right now, if you only used this and we did not put the stem on, but we're going to, this is a 3 5/8 inch design. From tip to tip is 3 5/8. So this would really beautifully take up a 4 inch block. Okay. Now, if you want to put the stem in like we're going to do, then what you may want to do is put it in a rectangle instead of a block. A lot of our patterns call for rectangle areas, and we're never quite sure what we should do with that. But this would be a great place to do it, Regina. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm taking the side of the template and let's get that black paper back over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and this is totally arbitrary, I'm not making any measurements or anything. I'm just coming in and doing a part of the curve and the straight edge of this template. This template's got a lot of really cool markings on it too. If you notice here, you've got a measurement, a ruler that goes up to 5 inches. This one does not have inch marks on it, but what you can see is these do run very close to the ones right across from them. This is considered the small leaf, the medium leaf, and the large leaf. We're going to use the medium leaf here right after we put some of that stem in. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm putting the stem in first, and then I'm going to come back and put the leaves in. And I want my leaves to go in different directions. Okay, so I want this one to kind of go in an upward trajectory. So here we go. Take that hesitation stitch at the top. And we're going to come back down here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come back up a little bit. Oh, get that out of the way. And I'm going to use my spacing gauge because I want to make sure I stay pretty close to that line. If it's not perfect, it's not the end of the world, guys. I'm just going to come up a few stitches, not very far. Now this one, I'm going to put in a downward trajectory, and I'm going to use the small one. Okay, so I'm going to move it like this so you can see it. And you'll notice I'm not just putting it straight, I'm not putting it perpendicular to the stem. I'm kind of tilting it a little bit because it looks more natural that way. And here we go. Hesitation stitch, back around and up. I'm going to go ahead and take that out. I'm going to finish stitching back to the flower. Do I need to? No, that's not necessary if you don't want to. Why am I doing it? I'm so glad you asked.
OCD.
Yes. It says it's OCD. Nah, it's not OCD. It's because I right now have one line of stitching from here to here. I have two lines of stitching from here to here. So what happens is this will have a heavier weight to it than this has. And I want that stem to have the same weight from the tip to the tip, okay? From one side to the other. I'm going to use my spacing gauge here. And I'm going to bring myself back up to the flower. There we go. All right. So this is our first design, guys. It's probably not what you expected to make out of leaves, but it works. Here it is. What do you think? Is this a good one? Is this a yay or a nay?
Oh, Julie,
Pardon me?
Julie Olson.
Oh, Julie's here?
Yeah.
Hi, Julie. I see Ken sees you guys before I do. Uh, Betty, is this kind of what you thought you were going to see tonight? I hope it doesn't disappoint you. Okay, so there is our first design, a flower. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Marla. Thank you, Lee. Oh, it's so good to see you guys. Okay, so that's our first design that we're going to do tonight. Our second design, let's do this one. Our second design is going to be a border. Okay. I did a couple of different things, but I came to the conclusion this is the border that I like the best. And it's made out of leaves. So I used the large size on this. I did come up and do a couple of these embellishments, and we're going to try and do that, okay? So let's go ahead and get that started. What I have, of course, is my line for my border. Oops, let's go back here. Again, I have made a couple arrows, and this is probably about a third of the way up. You could go up higher, you could come down lower. It's entirely up to you. What I found was I tried to get this into the widest area of the template. I found that when I was drawing it out, that worked the best. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay this on here. I'm going to use my arrows, lay it on the line. I haven't used that in a long time, laying it on the line, right? Okay, let's go ahead and pull our thread up. I don't see Julie in there, Ken.
Julie Olson.
Ah.
Beautiful, she said. Right above Betty Court. And below Lee Long.
Oh, you know what?
But
I'm not getting, I'm not getting these. I'm not getting the comments for some reason.
yeah,
Okay. Well, as long as you're getting them, that's what matters. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm first going to go in and I'm going to put first half. Okay. I know this is kind of going to be weird. Get that thread out of there. Okay. Now, let me think because, all right, we're going to come back down. So what's going to happen is the left-hand side is going to be stronger than the right. I'm going to turn this around now so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I've lined up my arrows here and here. I've come up to the top and back down. Now I'm going to twist my template here. And again, I'm going to come up and back down. You don't want to go too far because if you do, you will end up chopping across the top of the template.
question from Deb Lovis Craft. Are you using a vintage Singer copy?
Yes, I am, Deb. It is a Singer 301. And for those of you who are going to go to the So Steady Stars retreat in July, I will be teaching with the Singer 301. I love this machine. I think it's important that you all know that we don't need to have $20,000 machines to do ruler work. So up we're going to come again. And now we're going to come down to the bottom and stop. Now we're going to go in one direction first and then come back in the other direction. So I'm just going to slide my template down, line up, again, do that stitch up to the top, back down, twist to the template. I'm not going to go up too far. And they don't have to be perfect, guys. In other words, what I mean by that is they don't have to all be the same. Now, if you're OCD, which I'm not, but if you were OCD, what you could do after you get the first one stitched in there, you could go ahead, lay your ruler down, strike a line across, and then stop at the line each time you stitch up. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put my template back on again, lining up, making sure that I use my spacing gauge. The spacing gauge is a tool that you should have around your neck or at your side at all times. There are so many times that it has saved me from making a real mess out of my designs. And what you're going to see here, I'm going to point this out, okay? I always tell people, whatever you do, don't point out your mistakes, okay? I'm going to point out my mistake. What you'll see here is I came off of that line a little bit. In the grand scheme of things, nobody's ever going to notice it. You probably wouldn't have noticed it if I hadn't pointed it out to you. So Don't point out mistakes. All right, here we go. We're gonna do another one. Again, coming back. Now you don't have to do these little embellishments if you don't want. They do take a little bit of extra time.
Kathy, do
Yes.
if you know you will be switching below the line also, I think like the floors to come from the top.
Oh, from up on top.
I think that's what she meant. I don't know.
That would be kind of cool too.
Kathy Dewey.
Kathy, I never thought of doing it that way, to be honest with you. I don't know how you're seeing stuff I'm not seeing on here. I don't.
Because I'm the important one here.
Oh, did you all hear that? He said, because he's the important one here. Well, he is. He is important. I'm glad to have him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. Why you can't get to the team.
And I got to tell you something. He's going to be a fabulous dancer as soon as he heals up. He just got a pacemaker. So I'm thinking it's really going to help him keep step with dance moves.
Yeah, right.
It better. I'm going to ask for our money back. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do another one. And quite honestly, the more you do this, the quicker you're going to get at it. Although I never like doing things real fast. Okay, we're going to twist that. When we twist this now, that arrow should stay on this line. Okay, the other arrow is obviously going to move, but what we don't want to do is we don't want to do this. We want the arrow, the leading arrow, to stay on the line, and then the edge of our template is just going to touch that line of stitching. Okay, we got one of the hooligans is a little bit fancy. Oh, they're both fancy tonight. Time for Daddy to play, huh?
For them to go inside.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Back where we need to be. And I love the weight of this. It's got a real hefty feel to this design. We're going to just do one or two more, and then we're going to head back the other way. You see that if you wanted to, you could do just this portion of the design, and this would make a beautiful border in and of itself. Now, turning it would be doable. It would be a little bit tricky, but it would be doable. What you would want to do is make the whole rotation here and then come up here and go back to having it just one way. I'm sorry I didn't stitch that out for you guys to see. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just orient this a little differently this time. And back down to the bottom. Now remember, this arrow is going to stay right there, and we're just going to twist that template. We're going to come up a little way.
Question, after you make the embellishment, why are you using this spacing? Wouldn't lining up both arrows on the line be enough? Just Marla.
You know, Marla, it should. However, and don't get me wrong, I'm not OCD, but I do check and double check just about everything I do. So I don't trust my eye to make sure that I've got everything exactly where it needs to be. Now, there's another reason that I do this when I'm working with you guys. When I'm on camera here, I have a camera between me, my face, and the needle. So I'm not looking straight down at my template, which is the way I like to stitch. I like to be as far over the template as I can get, because that's going to give me the most accurate view of where I'm stitching. So that's one of the reasons that I do use the spacing gauge a lot. It's the way I was taught to not be afraid to use it whenever, whenever you can. And I do use it a lot. My students will tell you that, maybe more than I need to, but I'm kind of one of those gals who does the suspenders and a belt. I hope that answers your question. I know it may not be the answer you want. So most of the time it's not the one I want. So what we're going to do now is we don't have to break thread here. We just finished this rotation. All we're going to do is we're going to flip that template upside down. Okay. They say, don't wear a frown, turn it upside down and you'll have a smile. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to flip this right side down, upside down.
Good.
Whichever. We're going to stand on our head. How's that sound? You're welcome, Marla.
Oh, you got that?
I got that one, Ken.
Does it make sense?
It doesn't. Some of them I'm getting, others I'm not.
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here.
Well, of course.
So I couldn't be affecting what you say now.
No, you would not affect what I'm seeing, Ken. So here we have our option. We can come back and do this the same way we did it on the first half. And come up a little bit. And the more you twist the template, the further in that it's going to be. Oops, I just hit the camera. Sorry about that, guys. All right. And we're going to come back down. And now we're going to meet up with our first rotations. There we go. Line myself up here. I think this is a pretty design. It's fluid. I tend to like things that are asymmetrical, things that are fluid, things that nature, mostly just nature. Maybe that's one of the reasons I live where I live. We have a lot of nature around us. Matter of fact, we have herds of deer walking down our street every evening. Literally. Okay, there we go. Now, what's going to happen is we have drawn in by making our first pass. So when we come up here and put our spacing gauge in, you're going to see it's a little short. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stitch up to the top, and then I'm going to do a little smoosh. That's a technical term. Okay. Ken, quit laughing. Okay, so I've come back up to the top, needle down. I'm going to turn this so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So what's happened is, whoops. There we go. You'll see that my line of stitching needs to be over just a little bit. No worries. I'm just going to pull that fabric back a little bit. And now I'm going to be where I need to be. I want to wait until I get to the top to do it though, because I have this coming perfectly together, which is what I want. And so when I come back down, I want these two to touch. And there we go. Perfect. And if it's not absolutely positively, you can always come and move yourself over a half a stitch. And that should be more than enough to get you right where you need to be. So here we go. We're going to put another one in. Back to the center. Going to go ahead and twist my template. And back down. And this is the other advantage to having the more weighty um, um, lines here, is that they're more forgiving. Now let's check this one. This one looks like it might be really close to being on, and this one is. So we don't have to do a whole lot of smushing on this one, guys. Okay, there we go. We're going to come back up. And I'm just going to double check. Yeah, maybe smush just a hair. Perfect. And down we're going to go. And we got two more and we will have this design done. Oh, I don't need that yet. Okay, there we go. Make sure you land right on that line. If you don't, just go ahead and wheel yourself back to it, okay? Yeah, that one's going to need to be smushed a little. Every time we bring a stitch into our designs, we're shortening up that fabric just a little tiny bit. Bring it over this way so you can see. Oops. Okay, guys, I got off the template a little bit. It looks like I moved things. No worries. We're smushing, right? Oh, and that is perfect. There we go. One more, and we will have this design complete. As you can see, it's not a real fast design, but you know what? When you take the time, it is so worth it. And down we're going to go. One more embellishment. Going to twist. And I just knocked you again with the camera. I apologize. And so at least it's not an earthquake. Unfortunately, we live on an earthquake fault, a big one. So hopefully it'll never happen in our lifetimes. And one more stitch. There we go. And here will be our last time coming back down to center. There we go. Perfect. And right to center. And there is a nice little border design. What do you think?
Can you tell us a little more on the July retreat? Is it all ruler work or embroidery also? Yeah.
Oh, Deanna, that's a really good question. I'm not sure. I'm going to be honest with you. What I can tell you is there's going to be a lot going on. We're going to take a trip. We're going to stay at the Hilton in Eugene, Oregon. And one day we're going to take a trip down to the Pacific Ocean, which is exciting because I've never seen the Pacific Ocean. I've seen the Atlantic, I've seen
Lake Superior.
Lake Superior, yeah. And I've seen the Gulf of America, but I've never seen the Pacific. So I'm excited about that. And we will be visiting quilt shops along the way. And Stacy has worked it out with the quilt shops that we're going to have passports and a scavenger hunt. So it's going to be really exciting. And that day, there's also going to be a side trip if you're so inclined to go to the wine country. Now, there's a few of us going from the UP, and we decided that Upers on wine is not a good plan. So we're probably going to forego the wine country excursion, but that's okay. We're also going to have a day where we're going to be able to tour the factory, see how all of these products are made, how our templates are made, and such. And we're going to be able to shop the warehouse. Really excited about that. I asked Stacy if she would kindly ship my purchases home for me, and she said yes.
Anna Pimentel says, thanks, but I only want ruler work. Wouldn't she have the option of just attending ruler work? If there was embroidery, she wouldn't have to go to it, right? There's more than one function, isn't there?
What do you mean it's more than one function? Oh, not embroidery, just ruler work. Yeah, there should be different classes at the same time. So yes,
You have to just stay with the ruler work. You
yes,
should know that.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that's the case. We can ask, double check that, but I'm pretty confident. And then one day we're going to go up to the Sisters Quilt Show up in the mountains of Oregon, which again is going to be really exciting. So it's going to be more than just sitting in a classroom for the whole time we're there. We're going to have these little excursions. We're going to also have the shopping experience, which is really exciting. There is going to be socials in the evening, SEWCIALS, with sewing machines and what we need to be able to stitch in the hotel in one of the conference rooms, I understand, so that we can get together outside of our rooms too and just spend some time, getting to know each other. And then I am so excited about this, you guys. You have no idea. There's two different prices. One is for a single room, one is for a double room. If you want to share a room, of course, it's going to cost less money. And you can find everything on the Sew Study blog. Go to sewstudy.com, look under blog. All of the information for the retreat is there. So much more than I just covered right now. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to call Sew Steady. Ask them. Somebody will have those answers for you. Okay. So I hope that helps.
Well, Deanna says her sister's is only 40 miles from her.
Really, Deanna? Well, I hope that you'll be there. Do you believe it or not, guys? This is going to be my first ever quilt retreat. I've never been to a quilt retreat, so I'm over the moon excited about it. I really am. Of course, Ken's not. He'll miss me, but he'll get over it, right, guys? Okay, Betty, you're right. Betty said that'll fill a border great, and I do agree with you. I think I really like it. I like the fluidity. Now, there's one other thing that I like to do. Okay, and that is I truly believe almost any template we have can be made into a spinifex. I love spinifex. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, what size am I good? I'm going to use the big one just because I can. Okay. I'm going to come in the center. I'm going to adjust my foot a little bit. This batting that I have is not my favorite batting, guys. It gets skinny and fat in different places. And sometimes that can cause me a little angst. All right. So down in the center, I am going to put the pointy part of my template in the center. I'm going to line up my needle channel on my reference line, and I'm going to stitch a rotation. And here we go. Now what's going to happen here is we're going to get a secondary design, which are always fun. Secondary designs are great. The nice thing about doing it this way is you don't have to bury your thread when you begin, because it's going to be definitely going to be knotted in there well enough. And here we go. Now you could do this with 16 reference lines as well. It would get a little busier than this, but I think it would look really fun. I'm going to cut this thread out. There we go. I'm going to realign myself. Okay, there we go. Hopefully I've done that correctly. Oh, gosh. How did I get that lucky? All right, and around we're going to go again. Now, if you wanted to, what we could do is if you had a triangle, I'm going to show you how you could make this into a triangle. Or make it fit a triangular shape, I should say. And what we would do, hey, stop that, you two. Oh, they decided they wanted to play. Okay, so you see how this can be done into a triangular shape. It's not ideal, but it works. It's an idea. Okay. Ken says they gotta go outside. That's what they're getting antsy about. We got one of the little ones likes to pick on the big one. And then they chase each other around the house. It's really kind of funny. Okay.
You gotta go poop. For a sec.
And we got a couple more rotations because I still want to show you how to put a vein into these leaves. Okay. Thank you, Ken.
You're welcome. It was fun.
Yeah.
Look at these guys.
And 2 more rotations. And here we go. And this is going to be our spinning design with our leaf template. All right. What do you think? It looks pretty. Now, if you wanted to, you could make it out, you could put a smaller size in there. It would fill it up and give you a lot of template ideas or template opportunities. So you could take it just like this, and line it up the same way. Okay. I won't take the time to do that because I want to show you how to do some veins in here. I am going to just go ahead and put a stem in. Okay? Just a stem. It's going to be straight. Nothing special. Just a stem. Okay. So when we make leaves, we should start usually, I'm going to come up a little bit here, with the largest leaves on the bottom, right? Because that's how they grow. So I'm going to go ahead and put the biggest leaf on the bottom. And I'm going to make a complete rotation. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring my template out and I'm going to use this curved area here. And I'm going to get my spacing gauge again, okay? Because what I want to do is I want to keep this about halfway between. About. Doesn't have to be perfect, just about. And I'm going to come up and back down. And there you've got just a cute little vein. Now I'm going to come back up a little way. And that's a very plain, very simple, but very effective leaf. Okay. I'm going to come back up. And now I'm going to put one on the other side. And I'm going to have it in the same orientation. In what I mean by that is it will be pointing in the upward direction. Okay. And around. Okay. I'm going to take this out again. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing I did last time, but we're going to make it a little fancier. Okay. Whoops. I need to make sure I don't have my template over my foot. That could be a disaster. So I'm going to come up. And I'm going to come back a little way. Needle down. I'm just going to twist. Back to center. Come back down a little way. Whoops, make sure your needle's down. Now I'm going to twist in the other direction and back down. Go ahead and come back down a little more. Twist again and back down. A little more. And one more time, we're going to twist in this direction. And you see, I'm using the template the whole time. And there we have a little fancier leaf, don't we? So let's go ahead and stitch up a little further. And what I would do at this point, after I cut my thread off, is I'm going to come back up. I'm going to change my leaf size at this point. Okay. I'm going to put the medium size in now. And I am going to have it go in the same orientation. But the closer we get to the top of the stem, the smaller the leaves are going to get, because that's just the way they grow. Okay, and we'll go ahead and put a vein in here. We'll make one of the simple ones again. Whoops. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to come up a little further. This time we're getting to the very top, so I'm going to put a smaller leaf in. And this time I'm going to have it pointing in the opposite orientation, because a lot of times when you get new leaves, they do tend to curl down instead of up. So there we go. I'll go ahead and I don't want to try and put a real fancy of veining into a small leaf like this. It tends to get a little more difficult. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the simple vein in there. And there we go. And we'll come back to the top. And where's there we go. And if we want to, we can come all the way up to our spin effects that we did. And we can even come this far up and put another leaf in, and we can put it behind the petal. And to do that, we just simply come around, come back up, and there it is. So this is leaves. Everything you wanted to know about leaves, but were afraid to ask, right? Okay. Okay, Joy says she lives in Northern California, would love to share a room, but she snores a little if it doesn't bother somebody else. I love it. I love it. Oh, it's going to be so much fun, guys. Well, Betty, I hope that we have given you some ideas with our template tonight. Okay, I know that Stacy said you had wanted to see what we might be able to do with it, and here are some of the things that we did do with it. And I know they're not all leaves, but that's okay. It's fun to do things other than leaves. I so much appreciate. Is this leaf? Oh, Lee asked, is this leaf template new? Actually, it's been out for some time, I believe. Okay. This is a Donna McCauley template, and it is called the Leaf One Template Leaf. And it's a great template to do. It really is. When will my next quilt along be? I don't know. Monica, they just call me and say, "Can you do it live?" And I say, "Sure." So I'm really not sure when it will be. I definitely miss you guys. I want to get back to doing some more lives, and I will probably be talking to Stacy about what we can schedule and how we can schedule it in the near future. Um, I can tell you it won't be 3 times a week every week. Okay, that got to be a little onerous. So, I hope soon. I hope soon because I miss you guys. And I so much appreciate you coming in. I really do. It's been so much fun tonight. And if we don't have any questions until we meet again, let's quilt.